Finally, at long last, Tinkatink got the screen time and development she so rightfully deserved. After what felt like ages of her being sidelined, the spotlight is finally hers, and man, did she make the most of it. From her admirable determination and dedication to her craft, to her managing to muster her courage despite being so afraid and so timid in order to fight for what she wants and to help Dot and Quaxwell in their time of need, Tinkatink truly demonstrated an incredible level of character growth and development, making her evolution feel deserved and earned. Most of you think that Hatenna had the best evolution from the second Pokemon, and I can see why. It's perfectly understandable. However, I'm siding with the second majority on this one. I think the higher emotional stakes and the heartfelt character growth give Tinkatink the edge for me. I truly felt for her, which made me feel very invested in her short but impactful journey in this episode. Throw in several hilarious moments and a decent battle and you get an episode packed with humor, growth, and emotional beats, offering not only one of the most memorable moments for Dot's team, but also a fun and enjoyable experience. So let's break the episode down. I will tell you exactly what happened, my thoughts and opinions on it, and why it is such a fantastic episode. The episode begins with Liko, Roy, Dot, and Freed making their way to the crystal pool to find Briar. Meanwhile, the rest of the team stays behind to immerse themselves in the local culture. Molly helps with tending to the Pokemon. Murdoch makes baked candy apples, which he got the inspiration for last episode. Orla tries them while questioning Murdoch's belief that just holding one makes you look cute, something she can obviously achieve without it, though Metagross proves Murdoch's point to her. Ludlow and Quagsire meanwhile have a wholesome moment as they chill on a nearby hill. Liko and company are soon startled when 3 metal tubs fall behind them, reminding me of the classic gag of having such metal tubs fall on characters to hilarious effect, something that will come into play later. Of course, these tubs didn't fall from the sky, they were dropped by something. Said something is none other than a Bomberdeer whose laughter clearly shows that it enjoys mischief. Something confirmed by Freed and Liko's Pokédex, and that will be a recurring theme. Tinkatink approaches the fallen tubs with excitement, hammer in hand, determined to turn them into material for her hammer. But their quality is not up to par. Unfortunately, she soon drops her hammer because it's too heavy for her, causing her to cry, a moment that immediately tugs at our hearts, which will also be a recurring theme. Thankfully, Dot and Quaxwell are here to support her. The way she takes her hammer back and embraces it is just so adorable. This tiny moment encapsulates Tinkatink's vulnerability and Dot's nurturing side, two themes that will also be recurring. Sadly, not everyone who sees this wholesome moment finds it touching. Bomberdeer sees it as a revelation of who it should focus its pranking on. As the group continues the climb, they are sidetracked by some wild Pokemon, namely a Clefairy listening to a Chimecho's chime, and a trio of Pichu who take an immediate liking to Cap, much to his dismay. While everyone else's attention is on these Pokemon, Tinkatink's focus is entirely on her hammer. She finds some pieces of scrap iron. She soon gets to work on one, revealing that it's good quality iron, which motivates her to make great use of it. Liko points out that Tinkatink's hammer is bigger than before, which it is. This is a good time to mention that the last time we saw her, her hammer was normal, so she built it up to this bigger size off screen. Dot mentions that when Tinkatink gets engrossed in her work like this, she becomes oblivious to anything else. Something Liko and Roy point out is just like Dot when she's editing videos, drawing a parallel between trainer and Pokemon that's subtle but meaningful, proving that they are ideal partners. Also, fun fact, I'm also guilty of forgetting about everything else when I'm locked into doing something, working on videos included. So as Tinkatink continues to hammer away, Bomberdeer appears to torment her. However, she's so absorbed in her work that she fails to notice its attempts to spook her with water balloons, something Bomberdeer takes issue with. Because of course the troll needs the trolled to react, otherwise there's no point. So it tries a different tactic, dropping a set of shattering teeth right next to her. This is so random but also hilarious and another staple of comedy. The sudden noise finally startles Tinkatink, breaking her concentration and causing her to panic, allowing Bomberdeer to swoop down to snatch the metal plate she's been working on, forcing her to chase it. Bomberdeer soon drops the plate to startle Tinkatink, which it does, though it also delights her since she thinks the plate was returned to her. But Bomberdeer steals it again, and worse yet, it laughs as Tinkatink chases it in tears. What a jerk. No wonder it's a dark type. At this point, you cannot help but feel bad for Tinkatink. She's doing her best only to have her hard work taken away. Thankfully, Dot and Quaxwell notice Tinkatink's plight. Quaxwell manages to retrieve the plate from Bomberdeer's claws, handing it back to Tinkatink, who adorably and hilariously falls over because it's too heavy. Liko and the others soon arrive at the scene, concerned for Tinkatink. Unfortunately, Bomberdeer doesn't give up. It returns, this time with a pineco, which it drops on the group. The result is what you would expect. Bomberdeer truly lives up to its name. The resulting smoke cloud obscures everyone's vision, allowing Bomberdeer to steal the plate again, which Tinkatink notices, so she chases it. Once the smoke clears, Dot notices that Bomberdeer and Tinkatink are both gone, and she worries Bomberdeer kidnapped her. So Fried suggests they split up to find her. Meanwhile, Tinkatink desperately chases Bomberdeer in tears, which is always painful to see. It's funny though that she crashes into a timber, forcing them both to drop their weapon. Aiming to continue on their way as fast as possible, they accidentally pick up the wrong weapon. They do realize their mistake and they swap back. Sadly though, this small ordeal made Tinkatink lose sight of Bomberdeer, much to her dismay. So she wanders around asking wild Pokemon if they know where to find Bomberdeer. Unfortunately, none of them do. Worse yet, what appears to be a plastic bag fools Tinkatink into believing she found Bomberdeer, which makes her trip and fall, dropping her hammer. Hurt, lost, and alone, she breaks down. This really hits the emotional mark, as Tinkatink's vulnerability and determination come through in her small cries and gestures. She's trying her best despite her timid nature, but it's not enough. You truly cannot help but feel really bad for her, especially when she hogs her hammer, presumably for comfort. Meanwhile, Liko, Roy, and Fried search for her but find nothing apart from another bird with a similar name in Japanese. A familiar clanging noise soon echoes through the air. Bomberdeer is using the metal plate for its usual antics. The sound leads Tinkatink to it and her plate. But before she can retrieve it, Bomberdeer takes it and flies away. Tinkatink chases it, this time determined to fight for what's hers. You can sense her frustration turning into resolve. She's had enough of Bomberdeer's games. Even when she trips, falls, and tears up again, she gets up immediately to continue her desperate struggle. which makes you really root for her in case you weren't already, which is basically impossible. Eventually, Bomberdeer, with Tinkatink right behind it, returns to its nest, which is filled with other things it likely stole to use for its favorite pastime. It soon descends to a nearby stream to drink water. Tinkatink takes this chance to sneak into its nest to retrieve the plate. Dot, who also heard Bomberdeer trolling Mac Cargo, soon arrives just as Bomberdeer notices Tinkatink rummaging through its collection. Before it can stop her though, Quaxwell intervenes with water gun. Tinkatink soon finds her plate and she gets to work on it immediately. Hilariously, as Dot and Quaxwell admire her ability to focus on her craft anywhere, Bomberdeer drops a metal tub on Quaxwell, which made me laugh a lot. Like I said earlier, this is a classic gag, but they avoided it before, which disappointed me. But turns out they wanted to save it for later, potentially to subvert expectations so that it was funnier when they did play to what is expected. Well, it worked wonderfully. Bomberdeer tries the same tactic again, but Quaxwell uses water gun to send the tub hurtling back towards it, hilariously making it get a taste of its own medicine. Angered, Bomberdeer decides to escalate things by terastalizing. Its Terra type is dark, like I predicted. It then proceeds to slap Quaxwell with presumably wing attack. Dot is shocked by the unexpected turn, but she decides to respond in kind. However, she is interrupted by a giant boulder falling behind her. The culprit? Another Bomberdeer. As a result of this, Dot loses her Terra Orb. She frantically searches for it while commanding Quaxwell to contend with both opponents, which he struggles to do, especially since the Bomberdeer battle in unison. Meanwhile, Tinkatink continues to hammer away. Eventually, her efforts pay off. She manages to adorn her hammer with the iron plate. She soon notices that Quaxwell is in trouble, so she decides to help, but she can't, since her hammer is now too heavy, preventing her from lifting it. She doesn't give up though, using all her strength to drag the hammer while still trying to lift it. This moment is heartbreaking. You can see her frustration, her feeling of being so close yet so far. Her hammer is finally stronger and better, but she isn't. It's a grim realization, and her despair is heart-wrenching. It truly hurts to see. The battle only gets worse for Quaxwell, which makes Tinkatink even more desperate to help. Eventually, she manages to drag the hammer to the edge of the cliff she's in, which makes the floor beneath her crumble, allowing her to drop into the action, which only makes the Bomberdeer set their sights on her. In this dire moment, Tinkatink wipes away her tears, showcasing her intent to fight and to throw aside her weakness. She summons every bit of strength and determination she has, which allows her to finally lift her hammer, at which point, she evolves. No surprises here. It's so cool and fitting that she evolved only after managing to raise her new and improved hammer. It's like she earned her evolution after proving she has the strength and resolve to fight no matter what, and no matter how heavy or big her signature trusty hammer may be. I also love that unlike most other Pokemon with a tool or weapons, hers did not evolve magically along with her. Instead, it evolved organically, realistically, and she evolved to match it. Her evolution is complemented by a new move like I predicted, and it's Play Rough, also like I predicted. She uses it to deflect rocks thrown at her. So Tinkatink teams up with Quaxwell to take on the Bomberdeers. While Quaxwell uses Low Kick and Water Gun to deflect incoming rocks, Tinkatink uses Brutal Swing and Play Rough to defeat the Bomberdeer, ultimately forcing them to retreat. Dot soon finds her Terra Orb, much to her relief. So she did not end up terastalizing Tinkatink, or using Terrasto at all for that matter. My only prediction for this episode that did not come true, which is unfortunate. I think it's a missed opportunity. Adorably, Tinkatink shows off her new hammer, which makes Dot tear up as she praises and congratulates her for doing so well and for finally finishing improvements on her hammer. Tinkatink responds with a cute, wholesome smile that you cannot help but smile in response to. It's so nice to see her this happy. This touching scene speaks volumes about the bond they share, and Dot's expression says it all. She's not just proud of Tinkatink's strength, but also of her resilience and dedication. They soon reunite with Liko and the others, who are delighted by Tinkatink's evolution. Upon hearing what happened, Fried is surprised to hear that wild Pokemon outside Paldea can terastalize. The episode ends with Tinkatink hammering away at a nearby hexagonal knot, revealing that she's not quite done with improving her hammer just yet. Something that delights everyone, with Dot mentioning that Tinkatink is incredible and suggests that she will evolve into Tinkatink someday once she has improved her hammer to that point. I absolutely love Tinkatink's growth and development in this episode. I love it a lot. She went from being a small, timid, and vulnerable Pokemon who cries constantly to a formidable, determined, and courageous fighter capable of standing up for herself and those she cares about. A massive leap in terms of character, and one she earned by facing such a dire situation with unyielding resolve. Even when she tripped and fell again and again, she stood back up each time. She never gave up, despite being alone and seemingly helpless, even wiping away her tears, a sign that her weakness would no longer hold her back. Hatenna's evolution might have been more entertaining, but Tinkatink's evolution had more weight, more meaning, more power, more emotion. I felt more invested in her ordeal. I was rooting for her more. I wanted to see her succeed, to see her overcome her plight far more. Her incredible growth, both physical and emotional, is nothing short of fantastic, especially since it was conveyed in just one heartfelt and powerful episode. The battle, which was pretty good as far as short battles like this go, the many hilarious moments, and Bomberdeer's anime debut, especially getting to see one terastalize, only elevated the episode even further. So overall, this episode was wonderful. It masterfully combined lighthearted moments with deeper themes of growth and perseverance. It gave Tinkatink, and by extension Dot, the chance to shine in a way that feels genuinely earned. From Tinkatink's heartbreaking struggles to her triumphant evolution, it was a perfect showcase of what makes Pokémon Horizons special. Its ability to explore how simple journeys can lead to immense character growth, how there is strength in weakness, and the power of the bond between trainer and Pokemon that drive both forward. The mix of humor, heart, and a satisfying battle ensure that this episode is something really special. Here's to more episodes like this one, where the little Pokemon who work the hardest finally get the spotlight they deserve. But that's the review and the video. Please let me know what you think of this episode in the comments below. Consider subscribing, dropping a like, and supporting me directly through channel membership, Patreon, or buy me a coffee. And click the links on screen to see my reviews of the previous 3 episodes. Thank you so very much for watching.